What if I told you that the secret to a happier, more fulfilling life is right in front of you and the people around you? We're not meant to go through life alone. Every great achievement, every moment of joy, and every challenge we overcome is made better, stronger, and more meaningful when shared with others. Think about it. When was the last time you felt truly supported? Truly seen? It was probably in a moment where someone reached out to you, offered a helping hand, or simply listened. Those are the moments that define us, that give us strength. This is the power of community and connection. It's not just about being surrounded by people, it's about belonging. It's about being part of something bigger than yourself, where you're supported, lifted up, and where you have the chance to do the same for others. In this video, we're going to explore why connection is so vital to your mental, emotional, and even physical well-being. You'll discover how community strengthens us, inspires us, and reminds us that we are never truly alone. Because when we connect, when we lift each other up, we thrive together. And that's where real power lies, in our ability to support, collaborate, and grow as one. So let's dive in and explore the power of community and how connecting with others can transform your life. Here's something we often forget. We grow the most when we're connected to others. It's in the moments of sharing, of supporting, and of working together that we unlock our true potential. Think about it. When you look back at the most important moments of your life, the challenges, the victories, the transitions, weren't there people right by your side? Cheering you on, lifting you up, or even just listening when you needed it most? That's no coincidence. The truth is, connection isn't just an emotional boost, it's biological. Science tells us that people with strong social connections not only feel happier, but they also live longer, healthier lives. Relationships reduce stress, boost our immune systems, and even protect against depression. Connection literally heals us. And the magic of connection is in how it strengthens us, even in our weakest moments. When we stumble, it's our community that helps us rise. When we feel lost, it's connection that grounds us. And when we celebrate, it's the people around us who make those moments so much sweeter. I remember a time when I was really struggling. I had so many things weighing on my mind, and I wasn't sure how I was going to get through it. But then something simple happened. A friend called. She didn't have all the answers, but just hearing her voice reminded me that I wasn't alone. That small connection made all the difference. It's amazing how one person's kindness can be the spark that lights up our path forward. But it's not just about getting through the tough times. When we connect with others, we also open ourselves up to growth in ways we can't achieve alone. It's through teamwork, collaboration, and sharing ideas that we tap into something greater. It's how communities rebuild after crises, how teams solve complex problems, and how individuals push themselves to achieve more than they ever thought possible. So ask yourself, when was the last time you truly leaned on someone? When was the last time you let your community lift you up or contributed to the growth of someone else? Connection is where growth begins. It's where we find the strength to overcome, the inspiration to pursue our dreams, and the support to build something lasting. Alone, we can only go so far, but together, there are no limits. Now, let's take a look at how connection shows up in our everyday lives, in the small moments that often go unnoticed, but are the building blocks of a thriving community. Connection doesn't always look like a big, grand moment. In fact, some of the most powerful connections happen in the small, everyday moments that we often overlook. It's in these little gestures that we build the foundation of community. Think about this. When was the last time you smiled at a stranger? That tiny moment, that small exchange, might not seem like much, but it can completely shift someone's day. That's the power of connection. It can be as simple as a smile, a greeting, or a kind word. These small gestures, when added together, create a ripple effect. When you choose to connect, even in little ways, it spreads. That smile, that kindness, that moment of listening, it multiplies, inspiring others to do the same. I'll never forget a time when I was in a rush, heading home after a long day. I noticed an elderly man struggling with his groceries. I almost walked right by, but something made me stop. I offered to help. It was such a small act, but his gratitude was overwhelming. As I walked away, I realized that we don't have to do extraordinary things to make a difference. Sometimes the smallest act of connection can have the biggest impact. Connection doesn't stop with strangers or fleeting moments. It's in the relationships we build every day with our coworkers, our neighbors, our families. At work, connection can turn a team into a family. In our neighborhoods, connection turns strangers into friends. Imagine a tough day at work. You're juggling deadlines, stressed out, and just trying to get through. But then a coworker steps in to help. They lend a hand, offer advice, or just listen for a few minutes. That connection makes all the difference. Suddenly, you're not in it alone. You have support. And the more we connect, the more we create a sense of belonging. This isn't just about sharing space with others, it's about feeling seen, valued, and supported. In these everyday interactions, we weave the fabric of community, one thread at a time. So ask yourself, how can you create more connections in your everyday life? How can you pause, reach out, and build stronger relationships, even in the smallest moments? Because connection doesn't have to be big or complicated. It's about being present, showing up, and making the effort to connect with those around you, no matter how small the gesture. And when you do, you're not just building relationships, you're building community. Now, let's look at how we can take these everyday connections and build something even greater. A strong, supportive community that lifts everyone up. A strong community doesn't just happen by chance. It's built piece by piece through intentional acts of connection, kindness, and support. And the best part? You have the power to create that community, starting right now. So how do we do it? How do we move from small, everyday moments of connection to building a lasting sense of community? It starts with intention. It starts with taking the first step. First, look around you. Your community begins with the people closest to you, friends, family, neighbors. How often do we let time slip by without reaching out? A simple call, a message, or even setting aside time to catch up can reignite those connections that matter most. Next, look at your local community. How can you get involved? Whether it's attending events, joining a group, or volunteering, being an active participant in your neighborhood or town helps build strong bonds. You'll not only meet new people, but you'll also contribute to something bigger than yourself. I remember when I first joined a local volunteer group. I didn't know anyone, but that changed quickly. Working side by side with people for a common cause builds a unique connection. It wasn't just about the work, it was about the relationships we formed along the way. One of the most important ways to build community is by offering help when you can, and just as importantly, being willing to receive it when you need it. Community is a two-way street. It's about giving and receiving support freely and without hesitation. Imagine a neighbor going through a tough time. You might think, I don't want to intrude, but offering even small gestures, whether it's running an errand for them or just checking in, can create a deeper connection. Sometimes all it takes is letting people know you're there for them. The more you invest in your relationships, the more you'll feel the strength of community surrounding you. It's a cycle. The more you give, the more you receive. The more you reach out, the stronger your community becomes. There was a time when I felt isolated, like I was going through everything on my own. But once I started actively reaching out, not just to offer help, but also to ask for it, my sense of belonging grew. And with it, so did my confidence, my happiness, and my sense of purpose. So here's my challenge to you. Be intentional about building your community. Start small, but start today. Whether it's reconnecting with a friend, attending a local event, or simply offering a helping hand to someone who needs it, take that first step. Because the more we connect, the more we all thrive. A thriving community isn't built overnight. It's built through small acts of kindness, through time and effort, and most of all, through being present for the people around us. The power of community is real, and it starts with you. Now that we've explored how to build and nurture our communities, let's remember why this all matters. The power of community and connection isn't just about what we give. It's about how we all rise together, stronger and more fulfilled. At the heart of everything we've talked about today is one simple truth. We are stronger together. Whether it's through small, everyday connections or through building an entire community, the power of human connection is undeniable. When we connect with others, we find support in tough times, we grow as individuals, and we help others do the same. Every act of kindness, every shared moment, and every time we reach out, we build something bigger than ourselves, a community where everyone can thrive. And that's where real power lies, in our ability to come together. Alone, we might achieve small victories, but together we create something lasting. We lift each other higher, we push through obstacles, and we celebrate our wins, not as individuals, but as a community. So ask yourself, how can you contribute to this beautiful cycle of connection? How can you help strengthen the bonds between you and the people around you? It might start with something as simple as reaching out, being present, or offering support. Because here's the truth. The world needs more connection, more kindness, more community. And it starts with each of us. Take that first step today. Reach out, get involved, and be part of something bigger. The power of community is within your reach, and when we choose to connect, we create a ripple effect that makes the world a better place for all of us. Together, we rise. Together, we thrive. And together, we can create a world that is more connected, more supportive, and more full of life. Start today. Reach out, connect, and build a community where everyone can thrive.